Well, the idea was to find some linear actuators, but I couldn't find any in the small one, so I decided to make this myself. And yeah, everything is 3D printed, including the actuators. I couldn't find anything, or even on AliExpress. Some of them are too big. They're just too big, and also the ratio between the stroke and the actuator itself is just it's not proportional. So you have less than 30%, less than 20% of stroke, and they're too slow, by the way. So this one I show you now, that they are much better, and they can push and pull roughly like 3 or 4 kilos. To be that small, it's quite impressive. I show you now. They work between 3 and 5 volts. So you go. See? Look how fast it is. Yeah. Did you see that? They can move pretty fast as well. I can show you now. I've made a few models also. This one a little bit bigger, longer. I made this one that it's even longer. And they all work between 3 and 5 volts, so they're very efficient. Talk about less than 200 milliamps of current, so not too bad. And I'm gonna show you now what's inside. I'm gonna leave the STL file in the description so you can print it yourself, or you can buy from me on maybe eBay, and if you don't want to mess around with this kind of stuff. And so I'll show you now what's inside. Here are my boys. So these guys are big, medium, and small. These are the small one, and they all work roughly between 3 and 5 volts. Now we're going to give a demonstration with about 5 volts right there, 4 point something, which is plenty of voltage. Okay, so you take the first one, you plug it in, tack, and I want you guys to count how many seconds it takes to pull this thing out. See how fast it is? And it stops automatically because we got an upper and lower limit switch. Upper and lower limit switch because it's a must when you're working with this kind of stuff. You don't want the piston to push too far out or too far in. You don't know when to stop when you apply power, and so you're gonna break this thing automatically. There is no way. You cannot build one of these without upper and lower switch. So I'm gonna open and show you what's inside anyway. So if you reverse it, it's gonna take it just as fast. You see that? Super fast, and stops automatically when it reaches the bottom here. Same for this one. This is the longest stroke I have. It's very powerful. This one can go up to almost 10 kilos of force. This one we're talking about probably 5 or 6, and the small one about 3 or 4 kilos, which is not bad at all. Now I'm gonna open and show you what's inside. It's very simple, and check this out. So now we're going to open it, which is very simple. These are serviceable, which means that if something breaks inside, you can go ahead and 3D print the parts yourself, so you don't have to buy from me again. And then you open it slowly. Alright, slowly, very slowly. Okay. We got our 3 to 5 volts DC motor here. We got a lead screw right there, stainless steel. We got a limit switch, lower and upper limit switch. These guys are not regular switch. These guys have to be normally open. And when this thing pushes on it, it's gonna open the circuit. So they're normally closed. And this one, when it pushes over it, it's going to open. So they're reversed, right? So you want to have these guys over here. In order to build something like this, you need to have a printer that is quite precise, to be honest with you, because all the sockets and the wiring here requires some tricking, like to put it inside. But for the rest, it's kind of easy peasy. And then you put it back together, close it, tack, and then you put your rings over, and that's it, and you're done, right? So they are pretty much all like this. Same for these guys here, for the small one. The small one, they're much faster, because inside there is a lead screw like this one that I made it myself. Same for these guys here, and it's much faster. You got a little bit less torque, but they're much faster. And I calculated roughly the distance and the pitch, and you have a good compromise between torque and speed. And so I'll leave everything in the description, so if you guys want to download it, or just send me an email. Or if you do, as I said, if you don't want to mess around with this kind of stuff because you end up spending probably more money in components and stuff, you can just buy it from me on eBay. And so you can build something like this. Sorry for the mess on the table, but it's kind of fun. You know, I'm gonna leave the str file just for the actuators, not for the excavator. So anyway, you guys have fun. Thank you guys for watching.